This is the most common reason why I've seen gentle parenting not work for people. A lot of people start gentle parenting saying, I want to do the opposite of how I was raised. But the problem with that is that you're actually applying the same school of thought to yourself in your parenting as your parents applied to you. Because if you had strict parents, they probably spent a lot of time telling you what not to do as opposed to spending time teaching you what to do. And now as a parent, you're just thinking about what not to do, the parent you don't want to be, as opposed to the parent you do want to be and the strategies that you do want to use. So for example, you might have grown up in a house where you couldn't express what you thought or felt. Now as a parent, you decide, I'm going to let my child express how they think and feel all the time. But you don't teach them how to breathe. You don't teach them how to regulate. You don't teach them how to take accountability for their own feelings. You don't teach them how to set a boundary in a healthy way. And you don't teach them how to do perspective taking. And here's the kicker. Part of the reason we don't teach them these skills is because we don't have them ourselves because no one taught us. They just told us not to talk back instead of teaching us how to talk back. That's why so many adults resort to aggression, passiveness, or passive aggression when they're trying to get their point across.
Hey, I never get aggressive when I'm trying to get my point across.
Thanks for the example.
No problem. But seriously, how do I make gentle parenting work for me?
It starts with teaching yourself and your family what to do, what to practice, what to learn, what to teach, what visuals to use to help your family be successful.
Well, that's pretty vague. I don't know if I can do this if you're not more specific.
So you're saying you're not sure that you could change your behavior unless someone is showing you exactly what to do instead.
Yeah, kind of like the kids.
Would you look at that? I'll actually make that my first point. Practice what you preach. So when we feel disrespected or the world doesn't go our way or someone says something that we don't like, we automatically get downshifted into the emotional state of our brain. When we shift down to the emotional state of our brain, we're only going to see the world as me versus you. And children will invite us down to an emotional state to have a power struggle because they're there too. Now, the difference between an adult being in an emotional state and a child being in an emotional state is that the part of the brain that is responsible for bringing yourself up in the brain and emotional regulation and perspective taking and all the skills we want children to use and responding and trying to get their point across, this part of the brain, that part of the brain is not fully developed till 25, 26. And a child needs an adult's help to move them up in the brain and to practice these skills so that they can use them repeatedly and successfully in the future. So if we want children to recognize when they're in an emotional state and to move themselves up to an executive state so they can respond in a healthy and effective way, then we have to practice that ourselves. And the way that you can do that is to pause, take a breath, recognize what you're feeling, say a mantra that is helpful for you, choose to see it differently and solve the problem in a different way. You can choose to see them as disrespectful, ungrateful, mean children, or you can choose to see it as they're trying to advocate for themselves with the best skills they have access to in this moment, and they just need help learning how to advocate for themselves in a healthier and more effective way. I'm about to show you 2 tools that you can get to teach yourself and your child how to self-regulate and how to teach your child to take accountability for their feelings. It's Managing Emotional Mayhem, the 5 Steps to Self-Regulation, and the Feeling Buddies from Conscious Discipline. And books can be very helpful when teaching children how to practice perspective taking. This book is about teaching children how to set and respect boundaries. And this conflict resolution mat can be very helpful for teaching children how to set and respect boundaries in a healthy and effective way.
Wow, that's a lot to take in. I think I have room for one more strategy before I get in an emotional state.
Q-tip.
What?
Q-tip. It stands for quit taking it personally. When you or a child get triggered down into an emotional state and you're using your emotional state skills like blaming or excluding or back-talking or name-calling, it's not because you're a bad parent or they're a bad child. It's just how the brain works.
Wow, I really feel like that takes the shame off of me, and it takes the pressure off of me feeling like I have to shame my child.
That's right. And it frees you to focus on all the things that you can do to help your child learn the skills to be successful next time.
Wow, thank you.